Chapter 16. Wisdom exalts God. Go ahead and make all the plans you want, but it's the Lord who will ultimately direct your steps. We are all in love with our own opinions, convinced they're correct. But the Lord is in the midst of us, testing and probing our every motive. Before you do anything, put your trust totally in God and not in yourself. Then every plan you make will succeed. The Lord works everything together to accomplish His purpose. Even the wicked are included in His plans. He sets them aside for the day of disaster. Exalting yourself is disgusting to the Lord, for pride attracts His punishment, and you can count on that. You can avoid evil through surrendered worship and the fear of God, for the power of His faithful love removes sin's guilt and grip over you. When the Lord is pleased with the decisions you've made, He activates grace to turn enemies into friends. It is better to have little with a heart that loves justice than to be rich and not have God on your side. Within your heart, you can make plans for your future, but the Lord chooses the steps you take to get there. Living like a king. A king speaks the revelation of truth, so he must be extraordinarily careful in the decrees that he makes. The Lord expects you to be fair in every business deal, for He is the one who sets the standards for righteousness. Kings and leaders despise wrongdoing, for the true authority to rule and reign is built on a foundation of righteousness. Kings and leaders love to hear godly counsel, and they love those who tell them the truth. The anger of a king releases the messenger of death, but a wise person will know how to pacify his wrath. Life-giving light streams from the presence of a king, and his favor is showered upon those who please him. Everyone wants gold, but wisdom's worth is far greater. Silver is sought after, but a heart of understanding yields a greater return. Repenting from evil places you on the highway of holiness. Protect purity, and you protect your life. Your boast becomes a prophecy of future failure. The higher you lift up yourself in pride, the harder you'll fall in disgrace. It's better to be meek and lowly and live among the poor than to live high and mighty among the rich and famous. One skilled in business discovers prosperity, but the one who trusts in God is blessed beyond belief. Walking with wisdom. The one with a wise heart is called discerning, and speaking sweetly to others makes your teaching even more convincing. Wisdom is a deep well of understanding, opened up within you as a fountain of life for others, but it's senseless to try to instruct a fool. Winsome words pour from a heart of wisdom, adding value to all you teach. Nothing is more appealing than speaking beautiful, life-giving words, for they release sweetness to our souls and inner healing to our spirits. Before every person there is a path that seems like the right one to take, but it leads straight to hell. Life motivation comes from the deep longings of the heart, and the passion to see them fulfilled urges you onward. A wicked scoundrel wants to dig up dirt on others, only to spread slander and shred their reputation. A twisted person spreads rumors. A whispering gossip ruins good friendships. A vicious criminal can be persuasive, enticing others to join him as partners in crime, but he leads them all down a despicable path. It's easy to tell when a wicked man is hatching some crooked scheme. It's written all over his face. His looks betray him as he gives birth to his sin. Old age with wisdom will crown you with dignity and honor, for it takes a lifetime of righteousness to acquire it. Do you want to be a mighty warrior? It's better to be known as one who is patient and slow to anger. Do you want to conquer a city? Rule over temper before you attempt to rule a city. We may toss the coin and roll the dice, but God's will is greater than luck. Chapter 17. Wisdom's Virtues. A simple, humble life with peace and quiet is far better than an opulent lifestyle with nothing but quarrels and strife at home. A wise, intelligent servant will be honored above a shameful son. He'll even end up having a portion left to him in his master's will. In the same way that gold and silver are refined by fire, the Lord purifies your heart by the tests and trials of life. Those eager to embrace evil listen to slander, for a liar loves to listen to lies. Mock the poor, will you? You insult your Creator every time you do. If you make fun of others' misfortune, you'd better watch out. Your punishment is on its way. Grandparents have the crowning glory of life, grandchildren. It's only proper for children to take pride in their parents. It is not proper for a leader to lie and deceive, and don't expect excellent words to be spoken by a fool. Wise instruction is like a costly gem. It turns the impossible into success. Love overlooks the mistakes of others, but dwelling on the failures of others devastates friendships. One word of correction breaks open a teachable heart, but a fool can be corrected 100 times and still not know what hit him. Rebellion thrives in an evil man, so a messenger of vengeance will be sent to punish him. It's safer to meet a grizzly bear robbed of her cubs than to confront a reckless fool. The one who returns evil for good can expect to be treated the same way for the rest of his life. Don't be one who is quick to quarrel, for an argument is hard to stop, and you never know how it will end, so don't even start down that road. There is nothing God hates more than condemning the one who is innocent and acquitting the one who is guilty. Why pay tuition to educate a fool? For he has no intention of acquiring true wisdom. A dear friend will love you no matter what, and a family sticks together through all kinds of trouble. It's stupid to run up bills you'll never be able to pay or to co-sign for the loan of your friend. Save yourself the trouble and don't do either one. If you love to argue, then you must be in love with sin, for the one who loves to boast is only asking for trouble. The one with a perverse heart never has anything good to say, and the chronic liar tumbles into constant trouble. Parents of a numbskull will have many sorrows, for there's nothing about his lifestyle that will make them proud. A joyful, cheerful heart brings healing to both body and soul, but the one whose heart is crushed struggles with sickness and depression. When you take a secret bribe, your actions reveal your true character, for you pervert the ways of justice. Even the face of a wise man shows his intelligence, but the wandering eyes of a fool will look for wisdom everywhere except right in front of his nose. A father grieves over the foolishness of his child, and bitter sorrow fills his mother. It's horrible to persecute a holy lover of God, or to strike an honorable man for his integrity. Can you bridle your tongue when your heart is under pressure? That's how you show that you are wise. An understanding heart keeps you cool, calm, and collected, no matter what you're facing. When even a fool bites his tongue, he's considered wise. So shut your mouth when you are provoked. It will make you look smart. Chapter 18. Wisdom gives life. An unfriendly person isolates himself and seems to care only about his own issues, for his contempt of sound judgment makes him a recluse. Senseless people find no pleasure in acquiring true wisdom, for all they want to do is impress you with what they know. An ungodly man is always cloaked with disgrace, as dishonor and shame are his companions. Words of wisdom are like a fresh, flowing brook, like deep waters that spring forth from within, bubbling up inside the one with understanding. It is atrocious when judges show favor to the guilty and deprive the innocent of justice. A senseless man jumps headfirst into an argument. He's just asking for a beating for his reckless words. A fool has a big mouth that only gets him into trouble, and he'll pay the price for what he says. The words of a gossip merely reveal the wounds of his own soul, and his slander penetrates into the innermost being. The one who is too lazy to look for work is the same one who wastes his life away. The character of God is a tower of strength, for the lovers of God delight to run into his heart and be exalted on high. The rich, in their conceit, imagine their wealth is enough to protect them. It becomes their confidence in a day of trouble. A man's heart is the proudest when his downfall is nearest, for he won't see glory until the Lord sees humility. Listen before you speak, for to speak before you've heard the facts will bring humiliation. The will to live sustains you when you're sick, but depression crushes courage and leaves you unable to cope. The spiritually hungry are always ready to learn more, for their hearts are eager to discover new truths. Would you like to meet a very important person? Take a generous gift. It will do wonders to gain entrance into his presence. There are two sides to every story. The first one to speak sound truth until you hear the other side, and they set the record straight. A coin toss resolves a dispute and can put an argument to rest between formidable opponents. It is easier to conquer a strong city than to win back a friend whom you've offended. Their walls go up, making it nearly impossible to win them back. Sharing words of wisdom is satisfying to your inner being. It encourages you to know that you've changed someone else's life. Your words are so powerful that they will kill or give life, and the talkative person will reap the consequences. When a man finds a wife, he has found a treasure, for she is the gift of God to bring him joy and pleasure. But the one who divorces a good woman loses what is good from his house. To choose an adulteress is both stupid and ungodly. The poor plead for help from the rich, but all they get in return is a harsh response. Some friendships don't last for long, but there is one loving friend who is joined to your heart closer than any other. Chapter 19. Wisdom Exalted. It's better to be honest, even if it leads to poverty, than to live as a dishonest fool. The best way to live is with revelation knowledge, for without it, you'll grow impatient and run right into error. There are some people who ruin their own lives and then blame it all on God. Being wealthy means having lots of friends, but the poor can't keep the ones they have. Perjury won't go unpunished, and liars will get all that they deserve. Everyone wants to be close to the rich and famous, but a generous person has all the friends he wants. When a man is poor, even his family has no use for him. How much more will his friends avoid him? For though he begs for help, they won't respond. Do yourself a favor and love wisdom. Learn all you can. Then watch your life flourish and prosper. Tell lies and you're going to get caught, and the habitual liar is doomed. It doesn't seem right when you see a fool living in the lap of luxury or a prideful servant ruling over princes. A wise person demonstrates patience, for mercy means holding your tongue. When you are insulted, be quick to forgive and forget it, for you are virtuous when you overlook an offense. The rage of a king is like the roar of a lion, but his sweet favor is like a gentle, refreshing rain. A rebellious son breaks a father's heart, and a nagging wife can drive you crazy. You can inherit houses and land from your parents, but a good wife only comes as a gracious gift from God. Go ahead, be lazy and passive, but you'll go hungry if you live that way. Honor God's holy instructions and life will go well for you. But if you despise his ways and choose your own plans, you will die. Every time you give to the poor, you make a loan to the Lord. Don't worry, you'll be repaid in full for all the good you've done. Don't be afraid to discipline your children while they're still young enough to learn. Don't indulge in your children or be swayed by their protests. A hot-tempered man has to pay the price for his anger. If you bail him out once, you'll do it a dozen times. Listen well to wise counsel and be willing to learn from correction, so that by the end of your life, you'll be known for your wisdom. A person may have many ideas concerning God's plan for his life, but only the designs of his purpose will succeed in the end. A man is charming when he displays tender mercies to others, and a lover of God who is poor and promises nothing is better than a rich liar who never keeps his promises. When you live a life of abandoned love, surrender before the awe of God. Here's what you'll experience: abundant life, continual protection, and complete satisfaction. There are some people who pretend they're hurt, deadbeats who don't even work to feed themselves. If you punish the insolent who don't know any better, they will learn not to mock. But if you correct a wise man, he will grow even wiser. Children who mistreat their parents are an embarrassment to their family and a public disgrace. So listen, my child. Don't reject correction, or you will certainly wander from the ways of truth. A corrupt witness makes a mockery of justice, for the wicked never play by the rules. Judgment is waiting for those who mock the truth, and foolish living invites a beating. Chapter 20. Are you living wisely? A drunkard is obnoxious, loud, and argumentative. You're a fool to get intoxicated with strong drink. The rage of a king is like the roar of a lion. Do you really want to go and make him angry? A person of honor will put an argument to rest. Only the stupid want to pick a fight. If you're too lazy to plant seed, it's too bad when you have no harvest on which to feed. A man of deep understanding will give good advice, drawing it out from the well within. Many will tell you they're your loyal friends, but who can find one who is truly trustworthy? The lovers of God will walk in integrity, and their children are fortunate to have godly parents as their examples. A righteous king sits on his judgment seat. He scatters evil away from his kingdom by his wise discernment. Which one of us can truly say, I am free from sin in my life, for my heart is clean and pure? Mark it down. God hates it when you demonstrate a double standard, one for them and one for you. All children show what they're really like by how they act. You can discern their character, whether they are pure or perverse. Lovers of God have been given eyes to see with spiritual discernment and ears to hear from God. If you spend all your time sleeping, you'll grow poor. So wake up, sleepyhead, don't sleep on the job, and then there will be plenty of food on your table. The buyer says, as he haggles over the price, "That's junk, it's worthless." Then he goes out and brags, "Look at the great bargain I got." You may have an abundance of wealth, piles of gold and jewels, but there is something of far greater worth, speaking revelation words of knowledge. Anyone stupid enough to guarantee a loan for a stranger deserves to have his property held as security. What you obtain dishonestly may seem sweet at first, but sooner or later you'll live to regret it. If you solicit good advice, then your plans will succeed. So don't charge into battle without wisdom, for wars are won by skillful strategy. A blabbermouth will reveal your secrets, so stay away from people who can't keep their mouths shut. If you despise your father or mother, your life will flicker out like a lamp, extinguished into the deepest darkness. If an inheritance is gained too early in life, it will not be blessed in the end. Don't ever say, "I'm going to get even with them," if it's the last thing I do. Wrap God's grace around your heart, and He will be the one to vindicate you. The Lord hates double standards. That's hypocrisy at its worst. It is the Lord who directs your life, for each step you take is ordained by God to bring you closer to your destiny. So much of your life, then, remains a mystery. Be careful in making a rash promise before God, or you may be trapped by your vow and live to regret it. A wise king is able to discern corruption and remove wickedness from his kingdom. The Spirit God breathed into man is like a living lamp, a shining light searching into the innermost chamber of our being. Good leadership is built on love and truth, for kindness and integrity are what keep leaders in their position of trust. We admire the young for their strength and beauty, but the dignity of the old is their wisdom. When you are punished severely, you learn your lesson well, for painful experiences do wonders to change your life.